Okay, so I just got back to the car. Um, this morning, the plan was to just walk out here and kind of sit on the ground and overwatch an opening that was at the base of a ridge that I know I've seen deer on in past years. And I sat there for a few hours, didn't see anything. I heard that one deer blowing a few hundred yards away that was towards the base of the ridge. I had the wind in my favor and everything, so I don't know what the deer was blowing at, but after a few hours, I decided to get up and go scout the base of that ridge, and there's a saddle up there that I wanted to go check out that I've hunted once last year and saw a little buck on. And on my way in, I saw a couple rubs, and sure enough, I bumped a giant deer. I didn't see his antlers, but definitely buck. I could just tell. You can tell when a big-bodied animal is running away. It was a big deer, and it almost sounded like there was two. It could have been a buck and a hot doe already bedded up. I have no idea, but they went running off up on top of the ridge, and they were blowing at me for a little bit, and I decided to just back out. I sat there for a little bit, but I'm sure I did enough damage. So after sitting there for a little bit, I started to back out and just came back to the car, and on my way out tried to scout a little bit kind of the perimeter of where I'd seen those first few rubs, and sure enough I found a scrape and a couple other rubs, and one of them was, I mean, incredibly fresh, super fresh rub. So definitely some buck sign in there. I don't know if I'm gonna focus too much on it though. This piece of public that I hunt is giant, so I kind of like to focus on areas that are have lots of deer sign. So definitely a spot to keep in mind for the trip. But we got a lot of time to hunt, and I don't know if I'll be back here or not. Maybe if all my other spots don't work out and I seem to be having a hard time, maybe I'll come back. I have no idea. I'm not feeling too optimistic about the spot. But I know there's a buck back in there, so at least one. So I don't know. We might go back after him. I'm not sure. We'll see. Part of me wants to give it a break for a little while since I got up in his business, up in his bed. So we'll see what happens. But that's kind of the scoop on this morning's hunt. First hunt of deer camp. Like I said, I beat everybody else out here. My dad's getting here about noon today, so in about an hour and a half. So I'm gonna go grab a bite to eat because I didn't eat any breakfast this morning. Help him get camp set up, and then we're gonna go back out for this evening. So I will, bring you guys along and show you the interesting stuff. I'm not set up yet, but there's a buck right here. He's coming in right under my stand. My bow's at the base of the tree. He's a little guy. 2 here at deer camp. I didn't bring the camera gear. Well, I did bring the camera gear out this morning, but morning hunt was a bust, mostly scouted, so decided just not to film any of it. I apologize for the wind, guys. It is crazy out here right now. So I am back in the spot that I hunted last night. So the last hunt that you guys saw, where that little 6-point came up under my stand before I had gotten in my stand. I'm new to this whole hunting. Well, I've been hunting for a few years. Only public land, never hunted private. And I've had 2 shots at mature deer, mature bucks. I've only ever killed a spike, and I'm trying to just grow from there. So I decided that I'd come in a little bit earlier today to the same tree that I sat in last night. And I basically told myself, you know, if that 6-point comes in again and does the same thing, I'm gonna take a shot at him. If he gives me one, if he presents one like he did last night, and if that does happen and I end up harvesting him, I'm gonna be really picky with my second buck tag. So that's the plan for tonight. Same setup, same wind as last night. The wind is a lot worse than it was yesterday. Yesterday we had about 10-mile-an-hour wind gust. This feels like up to 20-mile-an-hour wind gust. I mean, my tree's just swaying, and I'm in a pretty big tree, so we'll see how the evening goes. It's like 2:30, so I got a long sit, which I'm happy about. I'm happy to be here early. Yesterday that buck came in at 4:30, so we should be good. I got set up. It took me a while, but I got set up really quietly, so that's what matters. As you guys saw last time I talked to you, I had to go back home and work Monday and Tuesday. So today's November 11th. It's Wednesday. I'm sitting up on a ridge top that I've had good success in the past. Definitely sounds like everything's waking up, and sounds like I could be in for a really good hunt this morning. So we're gonna see what happens, and hopefully we get a shot at a good deer. Okay, so update. I'm about to get down from the stand. Did not see one deer this morning. Very slow hunt. I saw like a record high 50 squirrels. Tons of squirrels around me, but not any deer. So I'm packing up, getting everything down, and we're gonna head back to camp, probably grab a bite to eat, and then try to figure out a game plan for this evening. So that's the plan. Okay guys, so we are set up for today's evening hunt. This morning again I didn't see squat, so we made an adjustment, and I'm kind of sitting in a transition area where these deer are coming up off this ridge back behind me, and they're coming down to feed in this big food plot in the evenings. So I'm not too far off the food plot. I kind of wanted to get deeper in the woods, but about 100 yards that way it starts getting really thick. So I decided to kind of just sit here where it transitions from thick woods to kind of a little staging area where it's a little bit more open with some oaks, and there's acorns on the ground, and then the food plot that way. So my dad has had really good success in the past in this area around this big food plot. So I've never hunted it. This is my first hunt out here, so we're gonna see what we can get done. Hopefully today's the day where we get an opportunity. It's day 3. We got quite a few more days to hunt, but it'd be really cool if we could get it done. So stay tuned.
that big doe. She came running in at my grunt. I couldn't tell if it was a buck or a doe, so I decided to just grunt at her. She was running up that trail. She turned around and came sprinting and stopped. About a 20-yard shot. I don't think I was too far back. I might have been a tad bit too far back. I don't know, it looked like I double lunged her. Straight past her though, that's good. Oh man, that's awesome, guys. I've been in the stand for probably close to 2 hours. It's still early in the day though. Oh man. Man, my family's never had any. Oh man. Hope you guys can see me good. Give me 1 second. I'm a mess right now. My family's never really had any private land or anything, so my dad's been bringing me out to this piece of public property since I was young. I mean, 8, 9, 10 years old, and he'd bring me out and we'd sit in a blind and I'd watch him hunt. And as I got older, I got my first bow, and I've continued to just come back to this public piece. It's big. There's lots of land out here, and it's a challenge. And when I was younger, it really got to me that, you know, these deer were really hard to hunt, and I wanted private land so bad. But as I've gotten older, I've come to appreciate this public land a lot more. It's awesome that our states have this land for people that don't have their own private pieces, and we can come out here, and we're lucky enough to be able to come out here and do this. So it's awesome, man. It's definitely a challenge taking a deer, or even getting a shot at a deer on public property. So it feels good. I'm gonna review the footage and see what it looks like, and see where I think the shot hit. So okay, so I just rewatched the footage, and it looks like I might have hit her a tad bit back, maybe 4 inches behind the shoulder. I think I double lunged her though. I mean, I'm gonna wait a little bit before I get down and look at the arrow, but full pass through, looked like a double lung. Might have been a little far back, so I probably didn't hit hard. But if I double lunged her, she should be lights out. I just got everything down. Out of the stand. Got the stand taken down the tree. I'm just gonna go look at my arrow, mark where my arrow's at, and then I'm gonna pack all this out, head to the truck, meet up with my brother, and then head back in to start tracking this deer. I've watched that video probably 5 or 6 times now, and it looks like I hit her a tad bit back, but I think I still double lunged her. So I haven't found my arrow yet, but really good blood, bright red.
So we recovered the arrow. Got another here. This blood is right in that area. So I'm back at camp. Me, my dad, and my brother, we tracked that deer for upwards of 3 hours, hundreds of yards, and she was bleeding good. part of me, every time I saw the blood, we saw some bubbles, but the blood was really dark. So it made me think that maybe I clipped the lung. I keep watching the video back, and I definitely hit her a little high. Not too far back for it to be crucial, you know. I think I definitely hit lungs, but I think with where I hit her height-wise, I think I hit a lot of muscle, and it caused her not to bleed out a lot, and we ultimately ended up losing the blood trail. And then once that happened, we decided to kind of grid search, and all three of us stand about 10 feet apart and walk kind of from last blood and just walk straight ahead in the direction that it looked like she was traveling. And we never really found any more blood, or we couldn't find her. So we, after doing that for a few hours, we decided to head back to camp and try to learn from the situation. So that's what we're doing. We're gonna head back out tonight to a different spot. Not real sure if the deer died, not real sure if it's somehow gonna live. I've seen lots of examples where people shoot them high like that and the deer end up living, so I'm hoping that's the case. I'm hoping that the deer didn't die and we just couldn't find her. But you never know with bow hunting. You know, when it first happened, I felt like I didn't rush the shot. I felt like it was a really good shot. She definitely jumped the string, but I didn't think it was too bad. But after following the blood trail, I think that I definitely hit her a little too high and maybe just clipped one lung or something. So I'm gonna try to learn from it, and next time I get an opportunity, make sure to compensate for the deer, jumping the string, and hopefully we'll get a deer down before the end of deer camp. So that's just a little update. We're kind of getting cleaned up and eating some food and getting rested before this evening's hunt, but we will be back out there very soon.